I doubt if they carried it with them. I do know that the guy who owned the Pony Express was a really, really religious guy. This is like the idealistic flag, 13 stars from the Revolutionary War where we had 13 colonies.
First customer of the day brings in something legendary, a Pony Express Bible. Yeah, you heard that right. This guy claims it's one of only 300 ever printed in 1859, handed out to Pony Express riders. Rick's instantly interested but skeptical, because this show has taught us that for every real artifact, there's 5 found-it-in-a-barn fakes waiting to happen. Seller says he wants $5,000. Rick's eyebrow instantly twitches.
What do we have here?
This is a Pony Express Bible.
Okay.
Rick launches into history mode, explaining how the Pony Express carried mail from Missouri to California in just 10 days, charging by the ounce. Basically a relay race with horses, he says proudly. Corey cracks a joke. Seems dumb to weigh down the horse with a Bible. Fair point. Seller insists riders had to take an oath on it before joining. Rick's intrigued but still cautious, especially since the spine's falling apart. He calls for Rebecca, the shop's book expert, because when Rick doesn't know, he calls a guy.
They charge by the ounce, and you could basically get mail from Missouri to California in 10 days.
Yeah.
Rebecca arrives to inspect the Bible. She immediately clarifies there are more than a dozen in existence, though still rare. She explains that Russell Majors, the devout founder of the Pony Express, did hand out Bibles, but not all were official Pony Express issues. The seller's eyes widen as she explains the difference between Overland Mail Company and Pony Express. Turns out this one's Overland Mail, not Pony Express. Rick's face says it all. Well, that's awkward.
A guy came into my shop with what he claims is a Pony Express Bible. It's cool, but it's in really rough condition.
Rebecca continues, an official Pony Express Bible would have presented by Russell Majors and Waddell stamped in gold on the cover. This one doesn't. The seller's crestfallen. It's not the holy grail he thought it was. But then Rebecca surprises everyone. Even as Overland Mail, it's still worth about $6,000 to $7,000. Rick practically chokes. In that shape? She nods. Yes, in that shape. Suddenly, this wrecked old book's looking mighty blessed.
These guys led a rough life. To ask them to not drink, not swear, I mean, that would be a lot of self-control.
Rick starts negotiating. Seller wants $5,000. Rick goes in at $2,500. The seller holds strong, saying collectors pay top dollar for rare Americana. Rick argues, yeah, but 99.9% of people don't want a $5,000 Bible. They go back and forth until Rick locks it in at $3,000 flat. The seller hesitates, then takes it. Another deal sealed, another relic saved from a dusty attic. Rick's grin says it all. Holy profit, Batman.
Especially when it's not actually a Pony Express Bible. But it's a great piece of Americana, so I'm gonna try and buy it.
Meanwhile, we cut back to Lily's big review. Rick's giving the classic motivational speech. You're a fast learner. You show up on time. You're gonna do great, the old man chimes in. Proud that she didn't pick up Chumley's habits. Then Rick drops a twist. He's offering her a part-time job. Lily's thrilled. Chumley cracks, so you failed, huh? The old man smirks. Word to your mother. This shop could run on sarcasm alone.
You're a fast learner, you show up at work on time, you're gonna do well in life.
Thank you.
Back on the floor, Lily's first paid day is off to a rough start. Chumley's got her polishing silver. She's confused. I don't even know how to polish silver. Chumley just shrugs. You'll learn. Rick catches her mid-buffing and realizes Chum's using her as free labor. He's not turning Lily into his personal assistant again, Rick scolds him. And honestly, dad energy level, maximum.
Doesn't seem like something I should be doing. I don't even know how to polish silver.
You'll learn, trust me. This is what Rick wants.
Then, chaos. Chumley and security are literally tossing a football around inside the shop. Rick storms in mid-play. You guys are at work, Chumley protests. I'm on my lunch break in 10 minutes. It's pre-lunch. Rick's unimpressed. Security jokes, maybe you're just mad Lily's not doing your work anymore. Rick shoots daggers. The tension, palpable. The comedy, peak Pawn Stars.
What have I told you guys about playing ball?
Interception!
Next customer enters, Rabbi Mel Hecht, holding a haunting World War II poster. The text reads, all the men of Litis, Czechoslovakia have been shot. Rick's instantly moved. It's dark, powerful, and unlike any poster they've seen before. The rabbi explains it was made by Ben Shahn, depicting Nazi atrocities after the assassination of Reinhard Heydrich. Rick calls in, you guessed it, Mark Hall-Patton, history wizard and hat enthusiast.
And this is an original poster depicting the Nazi brutality.
That is, hold on.
Mark arrives and immediately identifies it, an authentic World War II propaganda poster by Ben Shahn. He breaks it down. Heydrich was assassinated, Nazis retaliated by wiping out the entire village of Litis. They killed everyone, erased the town, even the name. Corey shakes his head. If you can read this and not get pissed off, there's something wrong with you. The rabbi nods solemnly. Amen to that.
You look more like a rabbi than I do.
Thank you. That is gnarly. That's it.
The rabbi asks $3,000. Rick's interested but cautious. He knows World War II posters vary wildly in price. Corey estimates they could sell it for about $2,000 to $2,200. Rick offers $1,500, straight-faced. The rabbi smiles. Deal! They shake hands, both men knowing this poster belongs in better hands. History preserved, lesson learned, and a little redemption after all that Chumley nonsense.
I mean, how much were you looking to get out of it?
$3,000.
Next up, we go from history to Star Wars. A customer rolls in with a full-size R2-D2 Pepsi vending machine. Corey lights up like a kid. The guy proudly says he owns 2,000 Star Wars items and even runs a collectible shop in Brazil. Corey laughs. Judging by your shirt, you're definitely a fan. The man says he bought it in Japan. Only 2,000 made. Corey knows that line all too well. If it's made to collect, it usually isn't collectible.
This is a Pepsi R2-D2 vending machine.
All right.
This is the drawer you were looking for.
They plug it in. It works. The lights flash, the sounds beep, it even dispenses sodas. It's awesome, but Corey's all business. He explains that since it was released during the prequel era, everyone hoarded them. If everyone saves it, it's not rare, he says. The seller wants $5,000. Corey counters with $1,000. The man's shocked. You'd have thousands of people lining up to see this. Corey deadpans. Yeah, I've got Picasso's in the back too.
And you got 2 dispensers. It usually holds around 10 cans each.
The seller tries for $3,500. Corey won't budge. If you change your mind, the offer stands. The seller leaves disappointed, muttering that $1,000 is a lowball. Corey just shrugs. Another day, another fan convinced their merch is gold. Honestly, you can't blame him. If I owned an R2-D2 fridge, I'd probably overprice it too.
I'd offer you about $1,000 for it.
$1,000? Thing is, you gotta think about the rarity of it. I mean, you probably will have...
We close with Chumley trying to post a new intern ad online. How much do we pay interns? He asks Rick. Rick doesn't even look up. Don't worry about it. Chumley claims he misses mentoring after Lily's departure. The old man mutters, we should get another turnaround here. Rick grins. What? So we can get rid of the village idiot? The camera pans to Chumley. He's thinking way too hard about that one. Fade to black. Another day, another disaster avoided, mostly.
Well, I was about to place an ad online looking for a new intern. I just wanted to know how much they made.
I will take care of that part of my business.
We kick things off with a supposed Confederate-era knife, dramatically called an Arkansas Toothpick. The guy claims it was dug up near a Civil War massacre site, but Rick's immediately skeptical. The handle looks a bit too good. Like, it survived 150 years underground without even a splinter? Yeah, right.
I have here what I believe to be a Confederate. I've been told it's called an Arkansas Toothpick.
Looks like a shiv to me, man.
Rick plays it cool, but he's not buying the fairy tale. He tells the guy the style matches the era, but the condition raises red flags. So, Rick calls in his blade expert. Because, again, if this was real, we're talking serious Civil War money. The tension is high. Is it treasure or trash?
Sometimes people's stories just don't add up. Even though this is the right style for a Confederate-era knife, and it definitely looks old.
Back to that Confederate knife. Rick's expert shows up and says it might be real. Kind of. The blade style is right, the steel's legit, but the handle is too pristine for something supposedly buried for 150 years. Value? Around $500. If it were confirmed real, $1,500 tops. That Civil War fairy tale just turned into a $400 reality.
Guys always call me down to the shop whenever they have any type of antique sword, antique knife, any weaponry that has to do with blades.
Meanwhile, Rick and Corey head out to look at a 1970 Honda Z600. It's so tiny you could park it inside a smart car. The seller says it's the first one off the boat, which sounds cool until Rick lifts the hood. It hasn't run in 15 years, and now they're talking about starting it with ether. Corey looks like he's watching a grenade get primed.
So Corey and I are on our way to go check it out. So what do we got here, man?
It's a 70 Honda 600.
All right.
This is like the first one off the boat.
There's not a lot of them left.
The seller shoots high, wants $4,000. Rick nearly chokes. The thing needs a full restoration, and they offer $400. The seller laughs, tries to sweeten the deal by throwing in the can of ether. A can of ether! Rick declines, and they part ways. But honestly, that little car is probably still sitting in a field somewhere, dreaming of its prime.
Oh, we know it'll run. When was the last time you put fresh gas in it?
Oh, about 15 years ago.
This would make a great restoration project.
Next, a man struts in with a Rolex allegedly owned by Bernie Madoff. Yes, that Bernie, the Ponzi scheme king himself. Rick's ears perk up, but not in admiration. He ripped off old ladies, Rick says flatly. Let's just say Madoff isn't exactly Al Capone in the cool criminal department.
It's Bernie Madoff's Rolex.
Who's Bernie Madoff?
He's the one that put together the Ponzi scheme and stole billions and billions of dollars.
Oh, that rat.
Yeah, that rat.
Hey, Rick.
The customer says he paid $32,000 for the watch at a government auction and wants $75,000 for it. Rick's eyebrows basically leave his face. He peeks at the dial, and it's way too clean for a 1936 Rolex. Cue suspicion. Rick takes it to the back for a closer look.
18 karat vintage Rolex, the serial number, and 1936. It's been professionally restored.
Oh, that's a scary word right there. When I hear professionally restored, that means that you get a watchmaker and it goes.
Back in the lab, Rick confirms the dial and hands have been replaced. That pristine look totally kills its value. What could have been worth $35,000 drops to $10,000 instantly. The seller pleads, says it's got that Madoff pedigree, but Rick isn't buying the villain collector hype. No deal.
That belonged to notorious con man Bernie Madoff. It could be worth some serious dough.
Then things get loud. A guy comes in with a vintage boxing bell signed by Sonny Liston. At least he thinks it's signed. He rings it full force in the shop, and the old man, who's nursing a headache, looks ready to throw hands. Corey offers $400, hoping the signature's real.
I got this old boxing bell I'm looking to sell. It was hand-signed by Sonny Liston.
That is cool.
They later bring in a signature expert who gives the whole thing a hard nope. The autograph is fake. The old man gloats like it's Christmas morning, roasting Corey with every word. Told you so. Never sounded so satisfying. But hey, they still have a cool bell.
The guys call me in whenever they need signatures examined, and I'm the man for the job. See ya, old man. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm all right, Drew. I got a headache, so I'm not going to get up today.
Right after that, a customer wheels in a massive 1957 arcade bowling game. It's the size of a canoe and hasn't been turned on in 40 years. The seller wants $6,000. Rick practically gasps. He says he'll need $2,000 just to restore the thing, then offers $1,000 flat. Surprisingly, the guy agrees.
What do you got?
Bowling arcade game.
Awesome. Bring it in.
Right on.
Hey, boss.
I have a baby on the way in 8 weeks, and it's time to get rid of it.
The machine's vintage shell is solid, but the guts are fried. Still, Rick sees profit potential. And honestly, a bowling arcade game from the 50s? That thing is dripping in cool points. Just hope it fits through the door.
Yeah, you are.
I settled for $1,000 today. You know, I'm happy.
By the end, Corey eats crow over the Sonny Liston bell. The knife seller walks out a little lighter than he hoped, and Rick narrowly avoids making a very expensive Madoff mistake. From ether-fueled Hondas to fake fighter signatures, this episode was a pawn shop circus of epic proportions.
Take it easy, Drew. All right. Thanks, guys.
I had a hunch it was too good to be true, but it's still a cool antique bell, and I know we'll make it.
We start this one off hot, literally. A customer strolls in holding what looks like a toy car, but not just any toy. A 1969 pink rear loader beach bomb Hot Wheel. Rick's jaw drops. That's the holy grail of Hot Wheels, isn't it? The guy smirks. It sure is. The car's mint, surfboard still attached. And then he drops the bomb. He wants $150,000. Rick stares at him like he just ordered a $500 Big Mac. Let me call a friend.
On this episode of Pawn Stars.
What do you got there?
The pink 1969 rear load beach.
Rick's nostalgia kicks in. When I was a kid, Hot Wheels were everything. Camaro, Mustang, you name it. He explains how this prototype version was never sold to the public, only tested. The customer casually adds, "I've got about 6,000 Hot Wheels at home." Rick nearly faints. "You're Hot Wheel crazy." The man nods proudly, and we all know this is about to be a collector showdown.
That's the holy grail of Hot Wheels, isn't it?
It sure is. It's in mint condition.
Rick calls his buddy Johnny, the toy expert from Toy Shack. Johnny, Johnny, I've got something wild. Rick says, you better bring gloves. The seller grins, completely confident. It's the only one like it. You can practically feel Rick's nervous energy. If this thing's real, he could buy a new shop with the profit, or a lifetime supply of Hot Wheels.
All right, do you know anything about it?
They actually stopped making this variety and made a different variety of the Volkswagen bus.
Okay.
Hence,
Johnny the Toy Shack expert arrives. Rick hands him the Hot Wheel like it's a Fabergé egg. Johnny gasps, this is the pink rear loader beach bomb. He explains how Matchbox ruled the 60s, but Hot Wheels changed everything. Faster, sleeker, flashier. Only 2 pink ones known to exist, Johnny says, and this is the prototype. Rick's jaw hits the floor. So it's real. Johnny nods, 100%.
A guy came in with an extremely rare Hot Wheels car. I know it's worth a lot of money.
Johnny inspects it under a magnifier, describing every flaw and mark. The lettering, the bumpers, the casting, they all match the prototype. This base is different from production models. He pauses, then grins. This is a legit prototype, Rick. Easily worth $100,000. Rick whistles. That's one expensive toy. Johnny laughs. Yeah, but this one changed the entire die-cast industry.
All right, so this is legit.
This has changed the industry of collecting Hot Wheels. Nobody thought that.
Now comes the big negotiation. Rick's ready to buy, but not to break the bank. The seller opens strong, $150,000. Rick shoots back $60,000. The seller frowns. Rick bumps it to $65,000. The guy drops to $140,000. They're galaxies apart. Rick goes to $70,000. Final offer. The seller shakes his head. No deal. This is my pink baby, he says. Rick sighs. Well, thanks for bringing it in. No sale, but a piece of Hot Wheel history just rolled through the shop.
This is a different base than the early production ones. So this is definitely the prototype. And there's...
Cut to Corey and Chumlee, who are about to take a detour to space. A woman brings in 2-round Weltron UFO Stereos from the 1970s. They were part of my divorce party, she laughs. Space-age music for a new life. Corey loves the design. Bright white spheres with 8 tracks and cassettes. But Chumlee's like, I'm all about digital downloads. Translation, he's never seen one before.
They're pretty cool. What can you tell me about it?
1969, United States first put a man on the moon. 1970,
the seller wants $3,000 for both stereos. Corey bursts out laughing. They look like they came off a 70s Star Trek set. He tests one. It works, kind of. The sound's as fuzzy as Chumlee's logic. They're cool, Corey admits, but they're novelty. He offers $500. She begs for $600. He refuses. They settle on $550. You beat me down, she sighs. Corey grins. That's my job.
we can kind of hear radio there, a little bit, FM, AM.
All right, so it works. We'll go ahead and turn it off.
Next, we find Chumlee declaring himself an author. Rick's trying to read Sammy Davis Jr.'s memoir, and Chum interrupts, my life would make a better book. Rick groans. You usually write a memoir after you've accomplished something. Chumlee deadpans, there's a war on these streets, Rick. You gotta be careful out there. Rick just stares, silently questioning his life choices.
I'm reading Sammy Davis Jr.'s memoir. Why? There's a lot of people out there with really interesting lives, and it's fun to read about it.
Then a new customer arrives with something big, an etching by Rembrandt. She says it's called Rembrandt's Mother with her hand on her chest. Rick's instantly intrigued. Rembrandt, huh? That's impressive. She's hoping for $10,000. Rick gives her a history lesson on etching. Wax, acid, copper plates, all that. He explains states, meaning the number of times a plate was reworked. Early states equal more money. The seller's eyes light up. It could be the second state, she says. Rick smiles nervously. Could also be the 7th.
I have here an etching of one of the most famous moms in the world. This is an etching by Rembrandt.
Where did you get this?
Rick explains how early Rembrandt states can fetch 6 figures. If this is first or second state, his hands touched it. The seller beams, ready to cash in. Rick calls in Brett, his art expert. If anyone can tell us the state, it's Brett. As they wait, Rick's still writing his memoir. He tells Rick, you're the villain in my story. Rick glares. You'd still be flipping burgers if it wasn't for me? Rick's grins. And that's chapter 1.
Oh, Rembrandt.
Fantastic. You don't get much better than Rembrandt.
I agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah, Rembrandt is probably the most esteemed printmaker in history.
Before Rembrandt, you'd never see the nuance, the subtleties of the face.
Brett arrives to inspect the Rembrandt and instantly nerds out. Rembrandt is the most esteemed printmaker in history, he says. He examines the lines and tonalities. Before Rembrandt, no one captured human expression like this. Then, plot twist, he recognizes it. This is from the Millennium Edition, printed from the original plate, but hundreds of years later. The seller's face drops faster than the stock market.
That could possibly be his mother. I need to know what state and what the value is of this etching.
Brett confirms it's real, but not Rembrandt's handwork. It's pressed from his plate, but produced by Park West in the 20th century. Heavy ink, no subtle detail. Translation: it's authentic, but not that authentic. Value: around $1,500 to $2,000. Rick sighs. The seller forces a smile. I was hoping for $10,000. Rick offers $800. She declines, deciding to keep it. I'll just hang it on my wall, she says. Still beautiful. Rick agrees. That's one way to enjoy a $2,000 art lesson.
One of the things that's interesting about this particular print, I don't know, did you notice the signature?
Yes, it's dark.
Exactly. The inks are very heavy on this particular print. Now,
back in the shop, Chumley's finally finished his memoir. He holds it proudly, The Book of Chum. Rick demands to see it. The old man cackles, "You look like that Manson guy on the cover." Rick flips through it. Blank pages. "There's nothing in here." Chumley smirks. "You know what they say, Rick. You judge a book by its cover." Rick snaps. That's literally the opposite of the saying.
Dad.
What?
Banging it is not going to make it work.
Book's done.
Book's done.
So, overnight you finished a book.
Chum defends it. It's a working title. Maybe 50 Shades of Chum? Rick groans. The old man just mutters, "Damn shame." Fade out on Rick, shaking his head as Chumley grins like he just published a masterpiece. No record-breaking sales, but definitely record-breaking nonsense.
You know what they say, Rick? You judge a book by its cover, and that's one hell of a cover.
They don't judge books by their cover.
It all starts with a guy bringing in what he claims is a Civil War drum. The story, passed down from a family friend, complete with 13-star flag symbolism. Rick's intrigued, but something feels off. The drum is almost too decorative for wartime use. Could this be battlefield relic or just fancy parade noise?
I came down to the pawn shop today because I've got a Civil War drum that I'd really like to sell.
Rick brings in his go-to history expert, who drops the truth bomb. It's not a Civil War piece. It's a beautifully crafted late 19th century parade drum. Definitely cool, but not battle-worn. The seller's crushed, but Rick offers $500 after some intense back and forth. Deal sealed.
Be another old drum.
The guys normally call me down when they have an artifact that they want a little bit more information about.
Meanwhile, Chumley decides he's ready to step up and man security. Yep, Chum, as security. It goes about as well as you'd expect. The old man calls it a disaster waiting to happen. Corey jokes about getting robbed, and Rick threatens to take away Chum's imaginary pistol.
I'm a badass anyways.
That's an accident waiting to happen, son.
Well, you're not going to do it, are you?
No.
Well, we got to have somebody work the door, and Chumley's volunteering.
Next up, Rick and the old man check out a 1922 photographer's printing table. It's a cool relic used to print postcards, complete with antique light bulbs and red room vibes. The seller paid $60 and wants up to $10,000. Yes, $10,000. Rick counters at $350. The seller walks.
This is the 1922 photographer's printing table. Well, all the parts are here, and I think it's got some pretty cool components.
Then we get one of the best training montages ever. Antoine training Chum on how to work security. Let's just say, Antoine's patience is tested. Chum suggests chokeholds and clubs. Antoine just wants him to stay alert and not terrify customers.
Even though it's not from the Civil War, I'm pretty satisfied, with what I'm getting for it, so I can handle $500.
A seller brings in 1946 Royal Riders motorcycle memorabilia, complete with helmet, kidney belt, and goggles. Rick calls in Danny for the lowdown. Turns out it's a sweet post-World War II biker outfit, possibly tied to early American motorcycle culture, but sadly not worn by Ed Kretz himself.
The helmet was to keep you warm, it wasn't to protect your head.
I've been in motorcycle accidents, and this wouldn't have been a fun thing to have crashed in.
Danny estimates its value at $1,200 to $1,500. The seller wants $1,500, but settles at $1,200 after classic Corey-style negotiation. It's a win, even if it didn't belong to motorcycle royalty.
He was kind of a pioneer in aggressive, competitive motorcycle. The Royal Riders were a pretty significant club.
A guy rolls in with a 1652 sixpence coin, hoping to make bank. He wants $3,000, but the coin has been through it, cracked, worn, and graded as damaged. Rick offers $500. The seller's ego takes a hit, and he declines.
It's a 1652 sixpence.
Okay. Rick, it looks like it's run over by a truck.
In true chum fashion, he tries making a deal at the door for a Middle Eastern sword, offering $700 like he's got cashier authority. Corey shuts it down immediately. Security guards don't negotiate. Chumley, sit down.
1 silver. Whoa, hey, what do you got there?
Middle Eastern sword from the late 1800s.
What do you want for it?
About $1,000.
Finally, Rick brings in Antoine again for a high-end escort. Chumley is still on his wannabe Secret Service kick, but Rick opts to walk the customer to the car himself. That about sums up Chum's new job.
I just bought a watch off a guy for $5 grand. I need Antoine to walk him to the car.
Antoine's still out. You got Barney Fife over at the door.
The episode starts with Rick in full history teacher mode, talking about avocados. Did you know Cinco de Mayo is the biggest day for avocados? They sell 80 million. Corey blinks. Why do you know that? Rick fires back, because I read. Chumley naturally hijacks the topic. Margaritas, sombreros, mustaches, let's have a party. Rick tries to explain the actual Battle of Puebla, but Chum cuts him off. I thought we were having a party, not a lecture. Poor Rick. Fiesta canceled, kind of.
Why do you know that?
Because I read. Don't you read?
Not about avocados, no.
Then, business kicks off. Rick greets a man holding a Claude Monet painting. The guy casually says, "The owner died, so I ended up with it." Rick's jaw drops. "So, a real Monet?" The seller nods. "It was insured for $2.1 million. Rick practically forgets to breathe. "If this is legit," he says, "we're talking millions." The seller's hoping to walk out a millionaire. Rick calls in his art expert, because if this thing's real, it's about to be the most expensive Pawn Stars deal ever.
Well, it's a Claude Monet painting.
Rick gives a crash course in Impressionism like he's prepping for Pawn Stars the college course. Monet started the Impressionist movement. Guys like Renoir followed. His blurry, colorful brush strokes changed art forever. Rick examines the painting, muttering, "Could this be early period Monet?" The seller hands him documentation, museum insurance papers, even a Las Vegas art museum tag from 1997. It all checks out. Rick's sweating. "Let me get my art guy down here," he says. Cue dramatic music.
He started it. I mean, Impressionism is named after his painting Impression Sunrise.
Meanwhile, Corey's handling something much heavier, a firefighter water cannon from the 1930s. The seller bought it at auction, thinking it'd be fun to water flowers with. "You didn't just buy a hose?" Corey asks. The guy wants $700. Corey explains, "When fire trucks came around, these were state-of-the-art. It's cast iron, bronze, and brass. Basically, the Rolls-Royce of 1930s hoses." Corey starts the haggling war. Seller says $650. Corey fires back with $600. They shake hands. Sold. Corey's fireproof instincts win again.
What they do is they mount these on top of their fire trucks back in the day. When I bought it, I was thinking, well,
Next up, Chumley's helping a man with Volkswagen silver bars. Each bar commemorates VW's 25th year in America. Corey jokes, "You still want that banana yellow Beetle, right?" Chum nods proudly. With a surfboard rack, the seller explains he got them from a customer who couldn't pay their bill. He wants $400 total. Corey calculates instantly. 8 ounces of silver, $20 an ounce, $160. Seller laughs. "You can always go higher." Corey deadpans, "Not in this economy."
25th anniversary of Volkswagen selling vehicles in the U.S. market.
I remember you used to dream about having a Beetle. What did you want to like?
The seller tries pushing for $250, but Corey refuses. "My grandpa will shoot me if I pay over spot price. It's $160 or nothing." The seller sighs, "Better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Deal." As Corey counts the cash, he grins at Chum. Volkswagen's motto should be, "You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit." The seller walks out muttering something about decadent 1980s silver bars. Corey shrugs. "At least it's shiny."
People were making so much money, they were just giving it away. What happened to those days? Insurance companies and the banks, they would just give out.
Back at the counter, Chum and Rick are still prepping for the Cinco de Mayo party. Chum suggests candy piñatas. Rick insists on cash piñatas. Then Rick naturally launches into another history lecture. Cinco de Mayo's about the Battle of Puebla, not Independence Day. Chum Lee interrupts, wasn't it like Mayonnaise Day? Rick groans, no, Independence Day's September 16th. Chum mutters, sounds miserable. Rick grins, you'd love my book on Mexican history. Chum deadpans, that sounds really miserable.
Do you know that mostly in Mexico they don't even celebrate Cinco de Mayo?
What?
Do you know what Cinco de Mayo was?
Rick's back to the Monet madness. Expert Brett arrives and gasps, this is the Monet. He gushes about how Impressionism revolutionized color and light. If authentic, he says, this could be a $5 million painting. But then he frowns. There are red flags. The texture's too flat, color's too limited. He calls in a second expert for backup. Rick agrees. If it's fake, I'd rather find out before I sell my house. No kidding.
This guy came in with a painting that he is claiming is a genuine Monet. If this is real, we're talking millions.
Meanwhile, Chum, Corey, and the old man are plotting. We can't let Rick come to the party, Chum says. He'll just talk history all night, Corey agrees. He's a walking Wikipedia. The old man laughs. He gets that from me, but the annoying part's all him. They hatch a plan. Fake a history conference, or send him to Pahrump for the day. Chum giggles. If we're partying, I'm bringing a pitcher of margaritas. The old man smirks. And I ain't sharing. Absolute chaos incoming.
You guys, we need to find a way to have this Cinco de Mayo party without Rick. He's just gonna spit out facts all day.
Back to the Monet. Second expert Gerard arrives, inspecting every brushstroke like Sherlock Holmes with a paintbrush. He explains Monet's style, age indicators, and signature cracking patterns. This should have cracks. 150 years old, it should show age. He finds none. Also, no texture through the canvas. Rick's face drops. Gerard sighs. It's in the style of Monet, but not by Monet. Boom. Dream shattered. Seller looks like he just lost the lottery. Rick just mutters, figures.
A guy came in with what he claims is a genuine Claude Monet painting. This is the guy who pioneered the Impressionist movement. Brett took a look at it.
The seller asks, how sure are you? Gerard doesn't flinch. 200% sure. The paint's too new. The surface too flat. Rick pats the man's shoulder. Well, it's not every day you find out you don't have millions. The guy sighs. Guess I'll hang it in my living room. Rick smiles awkwardly. Hey, at least it's pretty. That's about as comforting as losing the jackpot and being handed a free sandwich.
So is it real?
It's in the style of Monet, but it's not absolutely not by the end of Claude Monet.
Finally, it's fiesta time. Rick shows up to the shop with sombreros, expecting a full-on Cinco de Mayo bash. Corey, Chum, where's everyone? The place is empty. Rick checks his phone. Nothing. He walks around yelling, guys? All he finds are decorations, chips, and a card labeled Fun Facts. Uh-oh. You can see the rage building like a volcano.
Guys, where are you at?
People are interested in the historical aspect of the holidays, so we
First customer walks in carrying something that looks like a small time machine. It's an antique cigar store countertop lighter, he says. Rick perks up instantly. 1920s tech, nickel finish, even reproduction batteries made to look period correct. He flips the switch and it sparks to life. Rick jumps back. It's a cigarette lighter / stun gun.
This is an antique cigar store countertop cigar lighter.
Rick admits it's in great condition, complete with cigar burns for authenticity. But as always, he lowballs. I'll give you $900. The seller pushes for $1,300. Rick stays firm. A grand final offer. The man nods. Deal. Rick laughs. This thing scares me a little. And honestly, same. Cigars, gasoline, asbestos wick. Who needs fireworks when you can light up like it's 1925?
Cigarette lighter / stun gun.
Cut to Chumley and Corey mid-prank war recap. Chum tried to trick Corey with a fake lottery ticket. Corey figured it out, so now he's plotting revenge. I emailed him a list of errands and painted something on the back of his truck, Corey says proudly. Rick can barely hide his smirk. What's it say? Corey grins. Wave if you think I look like a walrus. Rick bursts out laughing. That's evil. Corey beams. He's gonna be honked at all day.
Chum and I have a score to settle. I tried to prank him with a fake lottery ticket and it backfired.
Next, a customer walks in holding a check signed by Aaron Burr. Rick's history radar goes off immediately. The guy who killed Alexander Hamilton? The seller nods proudly. That's the one. Rick gives a full-blown lecture. They dueled in 1804. He killed Hamilton and basically destroyed his career. The seller's asking price, $2,010 because, as he says, I want you to pay with a Hamilton.
Used to be Vice President of the United States. You know Alexander Hamilton, the guy in the $10 bill?
Yeah.
Rick loves it, but wants an expert opinion. It's clearly signed, but there's a line through the name. Need to verify authenticity. He calls in his document guy Stewart, the history whisperer. The seller waits around, confident. If it's good, we'll make a deal today, he says. Rick's hoping it's the real deal, and not another fake like Chumley's rare Elvis napkin from season 5.
What's that dollar value?
3 pounds back then was literally 3 pounds of silver.
Stewart arrives and instantly drops historical gold. Burr and Hamilton hated each other from the start, he explains. They dueled in New Jersey because it was less illegal there. Rick nods like a proud student. Stewart analyzes the signature. Aaron Burr tilted his name 45 degrees and flat-topped his R's. He compares it to verified samples and grins. It's genuine. Signed by Burr himself, Rick pumps his fist. Awesome. Then Stewart adds the gut punch. Retail value? Around $750, Rick's face drops like Bitcoin in 2018.
Is this the item you called me about?
This is the item. This is an Aaron Burr canceled check. Very cool.
Rick's deflated. He killed Hamilton, shouldn't that increase the value? Stewart chuckles. In collectibles, reputation is everything. Aaron Burr's got none. If this were Washington, 5 figures easy. Burr, barely 4 digits. Rick thanks him, but you can tell he's bummed. The seller jokes, want a duel for it? Rick smirks. I'd win, I'd shoot first.
Was signed by Aaron Burr himself.
Awesome. Negotiation time. Rick opens at $500. The seller insists on $750. They haggle like a math class gone wrong. $640, $610, $620. Rick grins. $610. Final. The seller sighs. You got me. Deal done. As he walks out, he admits he'll just find another historic check to fill the frame. Rick laughs. That's one way to erase history.
Thinking like $500 is a really fair price.
Well, is that just for the oil painting and the...
Cut to Corey setting up the next prank. He's not done with Chumley yet. He's sending him on errands all over Vegas with special instructions. Rick just watches, amused. I love a good prank, but Corey gets too into it. Sure enough, Chum's truck is now a moving billboard of humiliation. A few hours later, Chum realizes and scrubs it off, fuming. Corey grins. He won't get the last laugh. Oh, Corey, you sweet summer child.
And people are going to be waving and honking at him all day. It's going to be awesome.
Suddenly, popcorn explosion. Corey's rigged the old man's lot with popped kernels everywhere. The old man storms out like a Vegas volcano. I want this cleaned up now. Corey tries to explain, but it's too late. You better clean it up or I'll kick your damn ass. Grandpa's done with the prank war. Corey sheepishly nods. Lesson learned. Maybe. New scene. Rick meets a young woman selling her 1960 Chevy Corvair. It's baby blue, shiny, and sounds like a dream. Would you like to hear the horn? She asks. Rick smiles. Sure, it honks. Off-key and weird. Rick blinks. That's unique. She laughs. Yeah, I thought it was funny. She's asking $10,000. Rick and Corey exchange the universal pawn shop look. Here we go.
In 1960, if you were like an 18, 19-year-old kid having this car,
Rick nerds out. This was GM's big innovation. Rear engine, air-cooled like a Volkswagen. Corey adds, didn't Ralph Nader call it unsafe at any speed? Rick nods. Exactly. But collectors love them. The seller explains it's in great shape. New seatbelts, working horn, only slips out of gear sometimes. Rick deadpans, that's not a selling point.
the Corvair was GM's attempt at a revolutionary new car.
Rick takes it for a test drive with Corey. He's optimistic at first, until he starts turning. The steering's all over the place. Corey yells, "You have to fight this thing." Rick laughs nervously. It's like driving a boat on land. Then they smell exhaust. "That's not good," Rick mutters. Corey calls it death trap. Rick sighs. Still, there's money here, if the price is right.
I want to sell it. I'm asking 10 grand.
10 grand.
They return the car and gently break the news. Rick explains the issues. Gear slipping, exhaust leak, wobbly steering. "You're asking way too much." The seller insists it's worth $8,000 by insurance. Corey nearly faints. "I'd offer 3 grand, tops." She declines politely. "No deal then." Rick shakes her hand, still smiling. "At least now we know it drives kinda."
and take a test drive with the car because it was just so different when it came out.
Rick wraps up the deal-less day with a sigh. Cool car, but not $10,000 cool. He and Corey walk back inside as Chumley and the old man trade sarcastic glares. Chum's ready to prank again, but Grandpa's done. Not funny, he barks. Corey and Chumley just smirk, already scheming. The old man growls, "You boys keep it up and I'll prank you into the next century." Cut to laughter and one very angry grandpa.
But I'm still his boss, so I get to make him clean the toilets anytime I want.
Rick pops in one last jab. "Hey Pops, popcorn's on me!" The old man glares. "You moron!" Rick laughs. "Watch and learn, boys." Fade to black on the ultimate pawn shop truth. History, humor, and endless pranks. Just another day in Vegas.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Nothing.